Oh, that doesn't look good. Someone's not going to be happy. Happy hour. Get it? Happy, happy. Crunch. 2-for-1 drink special, baby. That's what you get. Right at our garage and test facility. Let's see what we have today. A BMW M4. Lucky me. The competition model, that means it costs more money, as we'll find out later. Here's a rear view. And yes, in the media there have been a lot of comments about this odd-looking grille. It doesn't look good in the photos, but looks better in person. I like it myself. It grows on you. It gets a lot of attention on the street. The first thing we want to do when we get a vehicle is check and see if there's a spare tire, but forget that with BMWs, they don't come with one. You either get run-flat tires or a chintzy tire repair kit. And I'm told these are not run-flats. And the second thing we want to do is take the headlights out in the dark and see what they do. So we can perform that chore right now. Alright, it's dark enough. Let's see what these lights do. Here we have the low beams on a building 100 feet away, very bright, good widespread. High beams, very bright in the middle. And I see we have the heads-up display up. I'm going to have to find a way to turn that off. Don't like heads-up display. And I noticed the headlights turn in the same direction as the steering wheel. That's going to come handy on tight mountain roads when you're taking corners, as we'll be doing later. Here's what the camera looks like in the dark when you put the reverse gear in. Not as bright as I was expecting, but more than adequate. And here we have the brights on a fence line 240 feet away in a building 390 feet away. Very bright, very impressive, good low beam. Reaches out just fine. Overall, excellent. Since we're testing the headlights, it's a good excuse for me to take this out on backcountry roads, and we'll test the headlights some more. Let's see if the low beams disappear in dips. A little bit, not too bad. And here we see how the high beams really reach out on these curved roads with lots of dips. Low beam disappears a bit, but nothing serious. And out here you want good headlights because there are certain animals you don't want to hit. Like a big mountain lion. But the worst are the skunks. I think I'd rather hit the mountain lion. And the way these headlights turn with the steering wheel in the same direction, that is, comes in real handy when taking corners. Ooh, was that a skunk? We'll find out soon enough. The cornering ability of this car is fantastic. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this. But that's one of the reasons I like BMWs. Especially this one. Doggone it. Every time I get here, the bar is already closed. Ah, shucks. Do you know where this is? You win a prize if you do. Put it in the comment section. And I'm very impressed with this engine power. Lots of bottom end torque. Well, now we know why you have that big square grill. The cooling fan sucks up a lot of air. In the meantime, what started off as a headlight test ended up being a very nice nighttime driving experience, and I like to stay out here and do this all night, but unfortunately, we have some rattlesnakes out there in the bushes waiting to bite me. It is a full moon out, so the vampire bats are swirling around wanting to do the same thing, so I think it's time to go back into town and we'll resume this test tomorrow morning. We also test drove and did videos of other powerful German cars like this Mercedes-Benz AMG GLB 35. We'll link that video at the end of this video. Just go to the end, click and watch. We also tested in videos on some other powerful German vehicles like this 2021 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLB 35. We'll have a link for that video at the end of this video. Just go to the end, click and watch. Also, this 2021 Mercedes AMG 63S, over 600 horsepower, 140 grand, and it's all yours. We'll have a link for that video as well. But just between you and me, this is still my favorite. Yep, Corvette. I hated giving that one back. 1,000 miles in 1 week. Wore me out. You can see that on the car channel, of which we have many videos. This is a pretty fancy looking exhaust system, so it means there's some horsepower under the hood, so let's take a look. The base Sim Sport costs you $72,000, and for that you get a 473 horsepower Turbo 6, hooked to a 6-speed manual transmission. This is the Competition. It has 503 horsepower, an 8-speed automatic. It costs a wee bit more, around $2,900 more. Fuel economy is rated at 16 miles per gallon in the city and 23 on the highway. Here's the base price. A few options. Lots of standard equipment. That's cheap. A fully loaded one is $97,000. Take your pick. That was looking under the front hood. Looking in the rear hood, which is called the trunk. Lots of room back here. Room for a spare tire if you needed one, I suppose. One thing I find amusing, this electronic, really, like we don't have the strength to close this stinky little trunk. On a large SUV door I could see having this, but on a small trunk like this it's rather silly, but is what it is. Another reason you don't get a spare tire, you have two different sets, a 19-inch set on the front and a 20-inch on the rear. Let's go in the cabin and see what we have. One thing I noticed right away, you have a lot of body work here. A lot exposed to the outside, collecting dirt, dust, and other debris. You live where there's a lot of snow and mud. It's going to get on here, get on your pants when you step in, so you might want to keep some paper towels handy. It appears we have a lot of shiny plastic reflecting here, so you have to bear with me. You have setup and M mode buttons. And we have a lot of glare reflecting off the dash here. I can't do anything about that. We have comfort mode, sport mode, Sport Plus for high performance driving, for the engine, chassis, steering, and brakes. Every time you turn off the vehicle and restart it, these reset. So if you don't want to deal with that hassle, you simply press the M1 or M2 button to preset it. Start the car, just tap it and you're good to go. Which automatically put everything in sport for me. You do get paddle shifters on the steering wheel where they belong, not on the steering column like the Italians do for some dumb reason where they don't belong. This digital dash works great in the shade, but when you're outdoors you can get a lot of glare, drowning things out. A lot of this has to do with the plastic coatings they put on here. Very annoying. I don't know why manufacturers don't work this out before they put cars in production. Not picking on BMW here, this is along a whole line of car makers. The radio controls are simple enough. You can also operate the radio system with the control knob, like so. A couple things I don't like, even on the basic $15,000 Korean car, you get a very simple odometer to reset with a button. I've gone through this menu for a long time and can't find an odometer to reset. It's there somewhere, but I just don't have the time. The camera system looks far better in the daytime than it did at night. Another weird BMW engineering quirk, you can't check the oil in the engine with the dipstick. You have to do it by computer. It says it's okay, but how much is okay? You don't know. It's just the way the design is. I've also been trying to figure out how to use the miles per gallon system and reset it. It doesn't seem to work. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I don't want to spend hours scrolling. You shouldn't have to, but according to this, since, let's see, the past 5 weeks, 15.9 mpg, averaging 30.9 in city driving. Pardon the glare and everything, but that's just the way it is nowadays with these plastics they're using. Okay, enough show and tell. Let's take this out and do some driving, which is what we're here for anyway. For freeway trips, this vehicle has several advantages. Number one, the wind noise is very low. If you put the car in the comfort mode, the suspension does a great job of absorbing impacts. And the smoother the pavement, the smoother the ride. That's the good news. The bad news, these are huge tires and huge wheels, and on rough pavement they let their presence known, with a lot of rumbling and thumping noises coming into the cabin. Nothing serious for short, medium trips, but if you're going from New York to Los Angeles, you might find it a bit annoying. Otherwise, you'll be fine. If you watch my videos, you know what's coming up next. Where is he? Freddy the Frog. If you drive on this road, you have to stop and give your acknowledgement or you'll be cursed. So now we have his blessing. Let's move along. We're climbing some steep mountain upgrades, and this torque from the turbo engine is doing just fine in the process. Plenty of bottom end power. Not even breathing hard. The exhaust has a nice growl coming out of the pipes. Unfortunately, most of it is synthetic, being piped into the speakers, I'm told, and yeah, I pretty much agree. It's fake, but I don't think the typical driver will notice. It sounds good anyway. One problem I have driving this at certain times of the day and certain angles of the sun is the reflection that comes off this chrome strip, or artificial plastic chrome strip, reflecting light right in my eyeball. I wish car makers would stop putting the shiny stuff in cabins. It doesn't make any sense. Not a good idea. I'm not picking on BMW here, I'm picking on all manufacturers. 25 miles per hour in a 55 zone. Okay, Grandpa. Let's get some of that BMW passing power going here. BMW claims this vehicle can go 0 to 60 miles per hour in just under 4 seconds, and yes it can, but that's not what the vehicle is about. Instead, it's about finding an open country road like this and doing some open road cruising. That's where it's at its best, just like we're doing now. Unless you live in Germany, you can get on the Autobahn and do 155 miles per hour, but we're not allowed to do that here. This is a very, very bouncy road, but the suspension is doing a great job of absorbing everything. Very, very smooth and stable ride. As a BMW should be, right? And here we go with the glare again. I should have brought my polarized sunglasses, I guess, but didn't. If you buy this car, you might want to buy a pair yourself. The problem with most German cars made today is their power steering systems. had no feel or feedback. Rather bland, like playing a video game. This particular car, though, even though it is bland and has no feel, it is quick and responsive regardless of what mode you have it in, so I'll give it a pass. But still, they're behind the Japanese and Koreans as far as steering engineering. They need to up their game a bit. Not again, you've got to be kidding me. Maybe there's two of them on the road. Maybe they're breeding them. Alright, we'll pass them later. What's that old truck got under the hood anyway? Not a gas engine, must be little mice on a treadmill. This vehicle has something called lane assist, which I call steering interference. You take your hand off the wheel, it will steer itself because it won't let you cross the line unless the turn signals are on. It also wants to fight you if it doesn't like the way you're getting close to the line. On most vehicles, you have a way to turn this off. I've been through the whole menu. Apparently, you can't turn it off. I find it very annoying. Usually I get a car for a week. I only have this for 24 hours, so I don't have time to research this and see if there's a way to turn it off, but if you can't, that would be a deal killer for me. I don't need the car driving me. I need to drive the car. It's that simple. If you watch my videos, you know what this is. It's called Dead Man's Road. Very dangerous. Big drop-offs, no guardrails, rock slides, big animals jumping out in the middle of the road. If you're not driving a well-engineered car, you can end up in some very bad situations. But we're driving a very well-engineered car, so I don't see having a problem. Guess I shouldn't have said that it's bad luck, right? The cornering ability of this BMW M is fantastic. I don't think I have any chance of sliding off the road in this. And with these fantastic brakes, anything pops up in the middle of the road, I'll have plenty of time to stop. That's what we're paying for, right? If you're looking for a sporty vehicle for zipping around corners in a hurry, you certainly have one right here. You will not be disappointed. If you're taking roads like this, you got to keep your eyes in front of you. Don't be looking over the edge. It's not safe. I wouldn't do that. Got to keep looking this way. Not that way. It's a long drop over. What a safe driver I am. Normally when I get a vehicle, I keep it for a week, put about 500 or 600 miles on it. In this case, I don't have that luxury. Got it for 24 hours, so I have to cram all those miles in at once, so I didn't get to do everything I wanted to, but got about 95% done. So what's my take of this BMW M series and the time I had it? Well, if you like small cars with big engines, like I do, or you like German engineering overall, or you like BMWs in particular, this is definitely a car for you if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, rent one. That's what I had to do. Hey, 500 bucks a day and limited mileage. Hey, it's cheaper than paying 100 grand and buying it, right? Here's some links to other luxury hot rods we drove and did videos on. Just click and watch.